Hello, hello, checking. 1, 2.
Hello.
Hello, online people. If you haven't done so already, please scan the QR code and sign in. Thank you. Check 1, 2. Can you hear me? Can you hear me online? No?
Do I get to wear the microphone?
Oh yeah, of course. Hello, check. Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. First of all, thank y'all for showing up to our first GM. Like to invite y'all to the first semester, first year, first semester, first meeting with all of the new people. We're gonna first start with our sponsor, FWM, and we're gonna go ahead and let them present about their illustrious company. Yep, there we go.
I love microphones. So I'm Janelle Pierce. I run an intern program for FW Murphy and eControls. So we are sister companies, and I have some fabulous guests to help me out. Not guests, just fabulous engineers right here. Some of you may know Freddie. Freddie was actually our intern this summer, and we were super pumped because Freddie enabled us to get to know U of H students better. And this is really our first company presentation on campus. So first of all, I just want to say, good job, students, okay? Coming to this meeting tells me that you're going above and beyond your academics, and I just want to say encouraging things about that. Please don't stop. Please get involved. Please really get into your discipline and go deep, okay? Use that maker engineering spirit and show me on your resumes what you love, okay? If it's not done in school and it's done on your own time, that's called tinkering. We love to see that, and we love the details. If you work in a group, please don't tell us we had a group project. Please tell us your individual contributions. I've been at the career fair all day and I'm just kind of bleeding this stuff, okay? So I can't help it. Once I get going, I really get going. But let me digress, okay? We're here to share with you who is FW Murphy. We're the guys right down the street in Rosenberg, Texas, and we're going to share with you who we are and the cool engineering things that we do. Bring in the pizza. Wow, somebody said pizza? And somebody answered, wow, that is super fabulous. So we are so proud to also to sponsor you guys today. So I want to tell you that this is a lot of students. I am really pumped up, okay? We want to help you with your efforts. I get to represent the company for students. So I am devoted as an HR professional, as the young talent contact, and the intern program lead, okay? We want you to ask questions. That is one of our core values, okay? And we're gonna talk about that too. I think I can just go ahead and hit the button and move the slide, right? Actually down, did I move it? Oh, very good. Those are the core values. These aren't just words on the wall for us. These are actually words that mean something. So at our company, when something goes wrong or when something goes right, we can point to the core values and say, oh, there it is in the core values. So I won't read these to you word by word. They are on our website if you wanted to go have a closer look at them, okay? They're on the FW Murphy website. And they are just really who we want to be, who we try to be. And I really feel like they exemplify our culture, and there you go, not just words, core values. Okay, so we're not just FW Murphy. We're actually technically two business names, and then we have an IMCO name that I'll talk about thirdly, okay? So FW Murphy, located primarily in Rosenberg, Texas, financial headquarters in Tulsa, Oklahoma, because that's where the company began. eControls headquarters in San Antonio. IMCO Controls used to be in California. We have since shut that plant down and brought that label into the eControls business unit. So they exist in San Antonio with their production lines. But a little story for you, they used to be our competitor and they're about to go out of business, and we were able to step up, buy Mark, and we were able to step up and buy them. So, okay. Here's a little bit of our history. Murphy is almost 75 years old, okay? Tried and true, stood the test of time, a great company. The Houston facility opened in 1960. In 1994, a fellow by the name of Ken Guglielmo founded eControls in his garage in San Antonio, Texas. And then our business expanded as E-Controls. We entered the Hangzhou, China, well, the China markets. And we have a facility, our second largest E-Control facility is in Hangzhou, China. Let me just tell you, we're less than 1,000 worldwide, and we do a lot. 2009 is when FW Murphy and E-Controls merged and became one company under an umbrella. That umbrella company, it's on our paychecks, not many other places. It's called Genesis Controls LLC. Okay, 2010 began Global Engineering Groups. We also have facilities in other places in the world. 2011, EICS is something that we'll touch upon in the presentation, and you'll see that that is a leading, it's been a leading product, and we're very innovative in the markets where we exist. 2014, 1 million, we hit 1 million fuel control systems sold. That's a big piece of our business. We're going to learn more about that. And then that's when we bought, 2017 is when we bought the IMCO business, and we've since shut that down just about a year and a half ago. And 2020 is when we launched an E-Controls product for lithium ion batteries, which is our newest engineering platform on the E-Control side. We are sister companies, we share resources. So some things for Murphy actually happen in San Antonio, and we share resources that way. Okay, I think you're ready to go, Darshan, right? Oh no, we can talk about one more slide. Okay, so here, these are our global locations. A lot of those locations, if you see, they say sales, and they're small offices, okay? And I talked about some of the locations for E-Controls being in China. There's also one in the Netherlands, okay? And then it's actually needing to be updated because the Santa Ana, California location is actually no longer part of the system. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Darshan, and he's going to introduce himself and talk to you about cool engineering things. And Freddie's going to chime in. Any questions for you guys? I bet you're wondering about opportunities to work with us. I'll talk about that at the end. Okay, all right. Pizza Heroes, excellent job.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Darshan Kumar Ramesh Bhai. Some of the Indian folks would know how critical it is, because some of you also have that title by Darshan. Okay. But I've been with this company for 13 years. I've got my master's in EE from Lamar University, Beaumont. After that, I worked for a year and a half with a small system integrator company near Harvey. And then I had 30 years I did with FW Murphy. I'm basically a control system engineer. So what we do is, as most of you do know, from an engineering background, is Texas and specifically Houston is oil and gas hub, right? That's all most of big companies do, eat and drink, so to speak. So between oil and gas is where us we come into picture, and more specifically, natural gas. He does stuff with natural gas, like as you can see, heavy duty trucks, buses, industrial mobile, stationary, recreational, electrical, large vehicles, and so my main interest is on natural gas compression. So what we do is, there is this basin of gas, big pool of gas available. And so what we do is we provide control system solutions for a packager who are designing them. So let's say if you are going out working is refining, right? That's just one example. But let's say that is a big fan which has a small section for compression of the size of the room, right? And I don't think they need it, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Fans are
Trying to be technical this semester.
Okay. Is this good?
Go ahead.
Good? Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, that let's say the skid is as big as this room, right? So up there in the corner, there are some cooler fans. Up there over there is where your incoming gas coming in. Somewhere in the middle is you have scrubber bottles. Some like magic words, but we'll go through it real quick. But scrubber bottles. Then you have compressors, right? Some Ariel frames. Ariel is one of the companies who is building the compressor frames. And in between, you have a bunch of valves and pipings and all that. So what we do is if one of you is working as an operator, and if I'm your boss and say, hey, Mr. Joe, hey, Miss Mary, you need to work on this skid for the whole night. Now, within that environment, there could be anything and everything that could go wrong, right? And now it is important for you to make sure, A, what's my problem? B, how I can detect it? C, how I can fix it? And D, how I can note it down to make sure it doesn't happen again, right? So that's where the natural gas compression, if you see the red box, red enclosure, basically that is our main involvement with that entire skid. So what we do is we design that control panel that is going to control that entire skid. So how we are going to do that is if I have some of those valves sitting in that corner, we're going to bring the cable back to our panel. If I have some scrubber bottles, which is monitoring the high scrubber level, and there is a dump control valve, which is going to remove additional liquid, right? I'm going to bring those wires in. So basically, I am grabbing all those signals into my panel. And let me give you an example of how the panel looks like. Pressing the right button. So this basically are on the right side, if you see, they are the entire setup. The drone setup is a scrubber bottle. And over there at various places, you would see either a scrubber level switch, a digital, either on or off, or you would see some actuated controllers, control valves, right? Okay, so that's the control panel which we built. Now you would see some of the displays over there, some of the gauges over there, some of the pneumatic controller gauges over there. We haven't done that in overnight. It has been a knowledge that we gather by reaching out to our customer, getting the feedback, doing lots of internal discussion, coming to a consensus that what is our most apt solution that we could provide to our customer that would A, provide them a class 1, A1 solution and a long time support basically. As I was mentioning, the stuff that goes inside this control panel is right over there. If you notice, this is the enclosure. It could come in a various different color and size and the material based on the area, hazardous area location that you are implementing this panel in. But if you notice at the top, you would see what we call PLC, Programmable Logical Controller. So what it does is all those signals that you have brought in, it is going to read those signals.
And also within that PLC, you would have a CPU, central processing unit, which is going to include the entire programming around how to operate that individual valve or that individual control based on the requirement. Okay, who provides that requirement? Customer. Customer comes in and say, hey, Mr. Murphy, I have this requirement where I'm going to give you 100 psi pressure unit of a natural gas. I want you to compress it and give me 1500 psi. Now, some of you may who are going through their mechanical studies and understand the compression part and all that, there is a term called compression ratio. And in an ideal environment for a natural gas compression, the compression across each stage would be 1:3, right? So if I bring in 100 psi on the other side of compression, ideally I should get 300 psi, right? But we are not in an ideal world, so we are okay with anywhere between 2 and 2.5. But the bottom line is, now it is up to our packager to calculate across how many stages I will take this 100 psi and generate 1500 psi. So then we're gonna provide them solutions saying, hey, based on your requirement and all the signals that you're gonna have on that skid, this is what our solution looks like. And as far as the enclosure is concerned, FW Murphy is going to provide not only the design of the panel, but FW Murphy will also provide the programming, the project management, the FAT, which stands for Factory Acceptance Test. Basically, it's the exercise that we do with our customer when we are ready to ship the panel. We basically have provided them the solution based on their requirement. And now this is the time when they get to come to our facility and we're gonna demonstrate the entire process based on their requirement. And at that point of time, if they have any questions, if anything that has changed between in the beginning when we receive the request until now we are ready to deliver the product, if there are any changes, we're gonna discuss, we're gonna resolve it, we're gonna include that in our solution, and we're gonna provide. So in a nutshell, that is what we do. As Janelle mentioned, every day there are different challenges. There have been times where you feel like, okay, I'm gonna drown and I don't even have anything. Some of them days, especially when you are new, where we have a couple of new, fresh guys who are just scratching their head and said, I don't have any work. Have you guys saying you are busy? But pretty soon, once they get into this nitty-gritty, then they find out that now they are not finding enough time to recoup, because that's the challenge. Once I am providing you solution, right? I expect that as long as the solution is based on your desired expectation, you're gonna come to me. And then you're gonna tell your friend, hey, go to Mr. Murphy, right? So that is where we come in and we exceed our customers' expectation and beat the competition, is by being there, following all the core values that Janelle has presented before. So that is what we do, and that is what Freddie has experienced. My area of expertise is more in terms of engineering and designing part. What he has done during his internship period is focus on the software side. So he's going to take over. But before that, any questions? Either I did a fabulous job or you guys didn't get half of this stuff.
Talked about the wires.
Mm-hmm.
How many wires?
1,000, 2,000, 10,000. It all depends on the complexity. There recently, a couple of years back, there was a project we have done for NASA where we had double-sided enclosure. And the only thing you could see is a bunch of cables coming in. So it all depends on the complexity. as complex project as you have, like this project, I would say about 1,000 to 1,500 wires. And basically, sometimes that also depends on customers' preference. So customers are the one who's going to provide the entire skid, and we are just providing the control panel. So when they do that design, their AutoCAD design, they basically allow us a certain amount of space for, they call it box, for the box. And we need to make sure that we stay within that requirement. Now, of course, there are caveats to it, is that at some point of time, if their scope increases, at that point of time, they have to compromise with the space, because even though this looks a big box, we have to make sure that we follow all the standards that this panel and the skid essentially is going to go to. That could be somewhere here local in US for a hazardous area, class 1, division 2. That's area classification and all that. It's a different subject. I don't want to bore you guys with that kind of information. Half of that even I get bored. But basically, it's the customer and the location that is going to dictate how much complex our setup would be. Great question. Anything else? Go ahead, buddy.
What's the communication protocols? Serial,
Both. So basically, we rely, and it based on the product line that we have now. I've touched base on the PLC, right? Programmable logical controller. Most of those products are what we call third-party products, right? So for those third-party products, just to name you a few examples: Allen Bradley, Siemens, GE, Triconix, on and on and on. Those are the PLC manufacturers, right? At the same time, we do have our own prototype controllers that our research team have come up with. We hold the blueprint of that, and we have been using lately due to a global supply chain issue where our customers are not getting their products in time. So now, as the company evolves, the industry evolves, follow to that, our company is going to evolve. So based on what platform you are using, but starting from J1939 to RS-232 to RS-485 to Ethernet to Modbus over RTU, Modbus over TCP/IP, Ethernet IP, there are so many protocols that we follow. Our preference, again, that relies on what platform we are using. But just to give you an example, for PLC, we mostly prefer the Modbus, TCP/IP, or Ethernet over IP. Great question. Shoot. Okay, great question. Janil, can you help me go back to our core values? Freddie, looks like you're not gonna talk. Let's go to our core value screen, which is the first one, I guess. Yes, you are. But while we reach there, so those core values, our upper management have spent hours and hours. They actually came to all our facilities and brought us in a group of people and say, irrespective of how many years you have worked on here, what are few things that you either learn or you like about this company? You don't have to go in detail, just one word. So somebody says fun, somebody says challenge, somebody says that overcoming adversity, somebody saying knowledge, right? So they gather all that information and come up with those core values, which, like Janil says, each one of them makes sense. So to answer his question, the question, if everybody got the question, right? The question is, if I'm talking about I am overcoming the adversity and I'm beating my competition, How do I do that? So the first thing is clear a path. The most recent example of that is there is a company called Moro Energy, situated here in Houston. Their headquarters is. So the project in question was going to be located somewhere in Pennsylvania area. Okay. Now this company and the group of people that we are working with, they are basically knowledgeable in a compressor area, but not specifically the application that they are going to venture in. So their experience was more into a screw compressor versus what we were dealing with is a recip or a reciprocating compressor, right? So this guy, I've been working with him for a couple of years, and his question was, I am using this application for the very first time, and I don't know much about that. So for a reciprocating compressor, the main important thing before you start compressing the gas, mashing the gas, the main important thing you do is you lubricate your entire mechanical assembly, including the compressor frames and all the supporting area, which is going to be having the rotating motion throughout for a longer period of time. And in order to achieve that, what we do is what we call a pre-lube sequence. So what we do is before we start our prime mover, whether it's engine, whether it's a motor, whether it's a VFD, variable frequency drive, anything, we make sure we lubricate the mechanical frames. And he did not accounted for a compressor oil pressure transmitter. Now, okay, I realize that I need to do this pre-lube sequence, right? But for how long? When do I stop? When do I know that this is enough? That compressor oil pressure transmitter tells me that. So basically, it was our effort to clear a path for our customer. I'm not going to get anything out of it. Yes, I may get his business, but my business does not rely on me suggesting him something that he overlooked. But when I do that, when I suggest them that, they reach out to their end user and their process group and they said, yes, we most definitely need that, because right now it would only cost them $1,500 to just mount a Rosemount transmitter to measure that pressure, versus once the panel and entire skid goes into field, now they are ready to match the gas and they realize that they have issue. Now the cost of achieving the same solution is 20 times more. So that is where we are overcoming our competition of going above and beyond and clearing the path. But great question. No worries. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, go to the controllers and screen one.
Freddie was our software engineer at FW. I'm really excited for this talk because if any of you are wondering about what kind of experience you have to return for the summer, Freddie's the guy to talk to. Freddie?
Well, thanks again for coming out. We appreciate it. We're making an effort to have an organization where y'all can learn and do well. So thanks for coming out, and hope y'all like the pizza. So yeah, coolest thing about this company is that they make their own stuff. So they make their own controllers, and bunch of control switches and gauges. They make them all themselves. And actually, when I went to the building for the first time, I remember walking in, and the building is really nice as well. It just got built in 2020, and I remember walking in and being greeted by the people, which they're really nice as well. And they have a nice office, and then in the back they just have a manufacturing area. And so one thing that's common a lot is that you'll be working in your office coding, and then a problem will happen out there where you need to go out into a simulator and test your code. Wait, I think I'm getting a little too ahead of myself, but so that's the first thing that I was attracted to, was that they build their own products. And with that, the software role is kind of a hybrid role, where you have to be able to understand the natural gas compression aspect of the side, like the oil and gas side of it, which I had no idea on. And you have to know how to code, and then you have to also know controls theory. So it's a job where you need to know a lot of things and bring them all together. And yeah, so the first thing was like just getting it all in. So at the same time, I guess, just because you go in and you're overwhelmed by the complexity of it. But once you settle down and you get into it, it starts going well. But yeah, so their C5 is their newest microcontroller. They just released that, I think, in 2020. And it was a big step from the previous microcontroller, which I think goes back all the way to like the 2000s. So I'm not sure exactly when, but that one ran for a long time. And it was a big jump in capability, because it initially was much smaller, had less RAM, just less capabilities, less IOs. And one of the biggest jumps that they actually did when they jumped over from their previous microcontroller to the new one is that they added Ethernet to it and Wi-Fi capabilities. And so this is actually what this device is. And so the way this thing works out is that they have these control panels that control natural gas systems that are just extracting natural gas out of the earth. And they're in the middle of nowhere. They're like in New Mexico, West Texas, several other locations. And these things get attached to the very top of them. And that's how you no longer need a technician out on the field to be maintaining them, just because you'll have that connected to it. And the second anything goes down, breaks down, someone will drive out and fix it. And so that was a big step for them. And I think they were one of the first to do that too. So that was a really big deal. And so that's the development of that IoT. I myself don't know much about it, but I know that's a whole sector of embedded programming that they mainly handle in San Antonio. And so that's something that I got to see when I went over there.
What's the name of the product?
Oh, the product is named the M-Link. The M-Link, yes. And yeah, so there's that aspect to it. Also, going back to the fact that I mentioned that you need to combine both sides of the hardware and the software. This past summer when I was working, they had just released a new product. The EICS, our company, had one of the main companies that they work with released it. And so they had to create a simulator just because they had to develop code. But how are you going to develop code for something that you can go out into the field and test? So they had to, I remember my manager at the time, John, just coming in and just spending a whole week just in his room, just putting it all together. And you got this crazy mess of wires, one going the other way, and just putting it all together and interacting with it. And so if you like that role of doing hardware and software, it's a good place to be at, because both are necessary to understand what's going on. And all the microcontrollers aren't programmed in ladder logic. The majority of PLCs are coded in ladder logic, but this company, their microcontrollers are coded in C. So it's full-on embedded programming. And what that does is that it gives them a very versatility when it comes to their control panels. They can put them anywhere. So they mainly focus on natural gas compression, but they've actually put them on boats. And I've even heard them control like dams or like water systems. So they're very versatile for that reason, just because you have more freedom and more control whenever you're using C, whereas when you're using ladder logic. And that just goes back to the way that they customize their products, where they really care about meeting a customer's needs. And they make their products very specialized for whatever the customer needs. And going back to the question, like, why do they beat out their competitors? It's because they'll go that extra mile and do that very weird thing that the customer wants that isn't the standard, but for some reason the customer wants it, so we'll do it. And that's basically how that works. And so the next slide is like the control panel. And so this is where like the controller goes in, and then all the sensors, all the sensor lines come back, the analog inputs, the digital outputs, the IOs. And the way it kind of works is like it's controls theory, where you're sensing a pressure, and if the pressure gets too high, that's not good, so turn it down. If it gets too not good, turn it up. It's as simple as that. And obviously it's a little more complicated than that, but that's just what they do. And it's important that those systems are maintained at the ideal state, because whenever the system goes down, whenever the pressure gets too high and something breaks, not only are you breaking machinery that's worth millions of dollars, but then you're also losing money because you're not extracting natural gas out of the earth. So it's very important that you have a system that is stable and that contains itself, and that's what the control panel does. And so it's actually funny because these control panels themselves are like about this tall, about this big, but when you put them on the skids, as they call them, they look like just so insanely small. They took me out to this assembler of skids that puts things together, and they had coolers that were the size of this room, just the cooler. And then they had the actual compressor that went to it that was about the size from like here to that. And it's just a massive scale when you go out there and you actually touch it, and you're like, damn, okay, this is really big. And so that was actually one of the connections that I didn't make until I actually went and saw that. But yeah, and so there's that aspect that I really enjoyed about them, is that it's versatile, it's very fun, you get to code in C. And then also the people, like I really enjoy the work climate there. Everyone is super friendly. There was multiple times where I would get stuck and I could just walk over to anyone and ask them for help. And everyone there is so experienced. They're so passionate about the topic that if you go up there and ask them for a question, they'll answer it with joy, and they'll answer any other questions that you have. And yeah, trying to think, I think that's everything I wanted to say. But yeah, the people are really good. We always go out to eat lunch. So so nice, so nice. And actually in Rosenberg, there's so many nice local spots. So it's a very nice community there that they have. Like I said, everyone's friendly. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Yeah. Yes.
Well, as an HR professional, that like I can't get a better commercial than that, Freddie. So thank you so much. It's really a joy to hear you speak about the company, and I think he really is telling the truth with the passion. So engineering is the #1 thing at all of our companies, and we bleed it. I swear that's just the most important thing. So sometimes we forget about other things because we're so into the engineering. So if you're really into your discipline, if you're deep into it, if you can't sleep because you didn't tear that latest thing apart so you understand the base principles down here, then you might fit in with one of our companies. So, but I'm sure that you want to have some information about what opportunities are available, and I'm especially here to talk about interns, okay? So I do have a sheet, has a QR code on it. And I hopefully these went around the room, but there are more up here. You're welcome to take one home, share them with your friends, whatnot. When you click that clear QR code, it takes you to a link out there on the internet that I kind of have hidden because it's not published anywhere. And on there, there are a list of opportunities. There are opportunities for both e-controls in San Antonio and opportunities for Rosenberg. We listed it as Houston, although you all know it's Rosenberg. You know, we listed it as Houston opportunities. And you can go in there and you can look at the descriptions of the interning opportunities that we have. My business cards are right up here. I'll go ahead and put them over here. I know you're all going to rush me and get one, right? So I like to be responsive as much as I can, okay? So if you have questions that you don't feel like asking tonight, I want to be available to you later, students, okay? And I'm good for mom hugs. If anybody needs a mom hug, okay? You can just come see me after we're done talking here. I'm good for that as well. I have a little bit of swag. I got some pads up here. I didn't have a lot to bring. I hope you'll come and take one. I mean, they make really good scratch pads, you know. And then I have a few bags up here. First come, first serve. I'm surprised you guys didn't dig into the candy bars. This guy has to eat them all if you don't come down and get these afterwards, okay? So I think I've covered intern opportunities. Apply right away. We're going to start combing through those resumes. This is my time of the season. I'm really excited. Like I said, this is our first visit to U of H, and just really grateful that you all are taking your extra time to come out and spend time in this very valuable organization. Go ahead, question.
Why I think I'm gonna like I don't think I have everything.
You're asking a very realistic question. Okay, so I will tell you applying for the internship program, when we're going through all those resumes, we're trying to pick the best candidates. Okay, so earlier, beginning of the presentation, I said you've got to make your resume pop, right? What are we looking for? We're looking for nothing more than je ne sais quoi. And that's the only way I can explain it, because I need a sparkle in your eye that shines through the words that you use on your resume. As you can see, these aren't just engineers, they're spokespeople. They can get up and talk in front of the group. They can call the customer on the phone. The customer thinks they're the nicest person in the world. So I need all that in your resume, packaged with a very big Da Vinci bow that you can also do engineering.
So being active.
I need details, all right? These guys over here in the black shirts, okay? There's some of you that spend 10 hours a week just working on this organization, right? There's administrative needs, logistical needs. You got to communicate with the university. Darn, you probably got to write checks. So there's some of you over here that spend 10 hours. There's one of you who probably, that's my ring. That's my husband. I'm a motoring enthusiast. So if you hear the engine running, that's me. Sorry, guys. So yes, when you're, like I was saying earlier, when you're part of a engineering group and you're doing a project, there's always some guy sitting on the outside of the circle and everybody else is in here collaborating. Hey, give me your ideas, give me your ideas. I see your SAE shirt, friend. Okay, so I need that resume to pop, right? Also, you can send me a box of chocolates. I don't mind, pralines are good. No, I'm joking. That's a joke. Please, that's a joke.
Just to
That's it.
add into what she said, because when she sort out all the resumes, it comes to us, and now we need to give her the feedback. So from somebody who has been there once, I want all of you to remember, whether it's FW Murphy or anywhere else you go, we are not expecting you to start and taking up our responsibilities the very first day you enter in the business.
We give you 3 weeks.
Or less. However, if you are from a double E background, I expect you to know what is Ohm's law. Right?
And you need to know it well. Yeah.
Would you mind standing up real quick if you don't mind?
He's a freshman, everybody. Give him a round of applause.
He is wearing this, right? Or in his transcript, he shows me that throughout his bachelor's, he has taken 4 digital electronics classes. He better know what is De Morgan's law. That's it. So just to piggyback, thank you, sir. Just to piggyback what Janelle said, is yes, we know that you are studying this because your resume, your transcript says that. But we want you to know the basic fundamentals, right? Where we could take that and move forward. We could build a building. If your foundation is not good, if you don't know Ohm's law, and you are telling me that next year you're going to graduate with a double E degree, I'm sorry, I'm next. So, and the other thing is, let's be clear and let's be focused in our resume. Whatever you want to do or whatever you think you are good at, highlight that. Because that is what we are looking for. We are looking for you could wake up, stay awake for 36 hours to finish your final year project, right? And then you just kick butt, for lack of better word. You might be in, because that is what we need. We need a commitment, we need dedication with a little bit of fundamental that has to be key.
And you should all get 8 hours of sleep a night. Yeah.
You are telling the wrong group.
I know, I know. Healthy habits. See me after class. Okay. Yes, and that is. Thank you so much, Darshan, because we're really looking at the total big picture. Okay, so work hard in your grades. Show us your good grades, but don't sell yourself short. You're not a marketing major, right? You never had to sell yourself. So I see a lot of crappy resumes. I see a lot of crappy resumes with a 4.0. And it breaks my heart because the students aren't going the extra mile like you to get here and say, hey, Mr. Employer, what do you look for on a resume? So kudos to you. You're doing a great job by being here, guys. Okay. And keep trying, keep doing, because it will happen for you. Okay. You all have dreams. You all have hopes, right? We all do. It's okay. It's okay to dream. But I'm here to tell you as a testimony that dreams come true, and they come true by working hard. That's the only way I know they come true. Okay, maybe there's a little luck involved, but you got to put yourself in the right place. You got to put yourself in the right shoes, right? And you got to get your education. And you're all on your way to doing that. I am coming to an end. Guys, do you have anything to add? No? Okay. Questions? Yeah, come on, bring them. Me.
Facing us.
Me. First 3 weeks, Freddie, come on, you know.
Biggest challenge was that they threw at me a problem that hadn't been fixed for like exaggerate. But they had it the year before, right? And I remember just talking to people about like, so let me be more clear. So they told me what I had to do, and the first step that I did was to research. And so I went around the building just asking people that are knowledgeable in that. And after talking to them, I was more confused than before. It was such a complex thing that they wanted me to do. And it was a very tough problem, but so it was that. It was just fixing that, and it actually took me like 5 weeks to figure it out. A lot of failures, but they're very supportive. I had a crazy idea when I started, to solve the problem, and when I proposed it to them, I thought they were gonna shoot it down, but they actually were like, "Okay, go ahead," and it ended up paying off, and I was able to cut down a process that took anywhere from 3 to 7 days to a day. And I was able to, I don't know, I hope it helped out with that. But
He kicked butt.
yeah, but yeah, so that was for sure the challenge with that. But there's support, and there's resources to be learned, and they care about your ideas. So go out and say something wild or something that is out of the box. They won't shoot it down. They'll let you explore it.
Go ahead.
So there are two folds to it. One is, of course, technical fundamentals, right? Which basically, if you are applying for a hardware engineer, right, specifically electrical engineer, what we expect you to do is we expect you to at least know, like I said, what is Ohm's law, right? In terms of what is the AWG stand for, American wire gauge. Each wire, depending on its gauge size, how much current it could draw. And now all this information is readily available on the internet. We won't ask you, hey, can you show me the formula of calculating that? But just to be ready, just to be prepared with that kind of information, kind of help us, not go through that process, and we could move to the next step. Because even after 13 years, there are still few things that I'm still learning, right? So that's one aspect. The other aspect is your overall growth. Like Janelle said, you got to be enthusiastic. Every day when you come in, you should be, pretending as if you are a sponge. You need to keep your ears open. You need to grab as much information as you can. Reach out to your peers. Hey, I don't mean to bother, but what do you mean by this? Or hey, in that meeting, our CEO says EICS. What does EICS stand for? So just be available to ask questions. Remember, there is nothing called wrong question. So, like I said, the technical aspect, doing fundamentals of what you are getting into and what are the basics of that job responsibility that you think will help you. And on the other side is just be open, just be sponge, just do not afraid to ask questions. And of course, show up on time. Great question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bud.
For the intern, pardon me, for the intern roles for embedded software, are there roles similar to that, but with more like
No. So basically what we have is we have our research and development group who has designed the entire system, and now we give that blueprint to one of our vendors who brings that. So the board that you could see over here is already pre-made to us when we see those boards, right? So it already comes to us. Now, how do we utilize that board to get to our result is up to us. So no, we do not design this, but using this, we design the entire computer. Does that make sense? Go ahead, sir. So functional block diagram and sequential chart is part of IC 61131, which basically coincides with ladder logic. So when we are using the third-party platform, PLC platform, and we have to use their software, now most of the time we prefer the ladder logic because it follows properly and it's easy to troubleshoot. But there have been times where we are dealing with the big names like ExxonMobil, Chevron, Phillips 66, British Petroleum, and those big companies. They do sometimes suggest us to follow the programming in sequential or a functional block diagram, and we can do that. But most of the time, for third-party PLC, it's ladder logic, and for the Murphy controllers, it's C and C++.
Do you think I could talk about this real quick? I think we got about a minute left. I want to be respectful of your time, but I just want to let you know there's something that we haven't told you about, and that's a little bit more about e-controls. And when you go on to those opportunities for interning, you'll see that there are more opportunities at e-controls than FW Murphy. That's not by choice. We're growing the FW Murphy program, but this is a little pressure regulator, and it's really cool because it's got cutaway in it. And this is a product that we assemble at the e-controls facility. There's a little board in there. I know you could probably just see it's covered with a kind of a gel that we use that we're really proud of because these need to be very robust, and that gel protects the little circuit board in there. But we actually print these on SMT, surface mount technology, lines in our production floor, and we print about, I think it's about 300,000 boards in San Antonio for our products. Okay, so I'm not printing 3 million. My pressure regulators are not in every single automobile on the highway. As a matter of fact, this goes into a forklift because we're in industrial applications. That's our niche market, okay? And that includes this oil and gas business that you've been presented tonight. But in these industrial markets, my pressure regulator is on about 80% of the forklifts in America that run on propane or natural gas, okay? So you hear the gas correlation between E-Controls and FW Murphy. You can see why we're sister companies a little bit. And so this is assembled on the floor at E-Controls, and it's super cool. If you want to come up here and take a look, there's a voice coil in here, a little bit of movement, some magnets, stuff like that. That's used to do very precise fuel pressure inside a combustion engine. Okay, and there's one more thing that we didn't talk about is our latest engineering platform, which is another E-Controls brand, and that's lithium-ion batteries, an electrification platform. We got into lithium-ion batteries because of, I think it's called lithium iron phosphate, and that's what our fuel cells are made of. And the price came down, and the safety went up. Okay, so we make these really huge batteries. We are replacing lead acid batteries in forklifts right now today, but we're also in communications with a company, little company called Toyota, and they are probably fixing to be our biggest customer at E-Controls. And we own a lot of the natural gas, how do you call it, engine parts that go into engines that run on natural gas in China in 18-wheelers. Right? Is it 18-wheelers? Yeah, 18-wheelers, big trucks, you're right? Not a lot of those in America, but trucks and buses over in China were really big in that market as well. Okay, so I just want to do a little commercial for E-Controls. I think we're ready to turn it over to you. You're probably waiting for us.
Can we get a big round of applause?
Do you want us to sit down or?
So what we're gonna go ahead and do, because a lot of people came in during the presentation, we have some more pizza for the people who are or whatever. So we're gonna take a few minutes to serve that, and then during that time, slide forward. We'll start.
I'm gonna grab one for myself. Okay. I don't think I need a plate though. Grab it. What's that? Oh,
Thank you.
I love the microphone. I'm hogging it.
No problem. It's all good. Thank you. For those of y'all who didn't hear, we're going to be taking a quick 5-minute break. All right. So, yeah. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and introduce the new officer board for all the new people who have joined the org and also the committee members as well. I'm going to go ahead and skip this first guy because he's kind of useless. All right. So the VP external is Munta. Unfortunately, she could not be here. Then we have our VP internal, Dax. All right. We have our secretary, Ahmad. Where is he? Wave? Oh, there he is. Wave. Hey, what's up? All right. Treasurer, Monesi. All right. Sponsorship chair, some guy. Where's Awesome? Membership director, Kobe, unfortunately was not able to join. SAC director, Anthony. Anyone need any hair tips? That's the guy to talk to. IEEE Engaged co-director, Matthew. He's also doing our webmastering. We got Freddie, who y'all met. Freddie. Got Nathan. We got our robotics director, Ryan. You couldn't have smiled for your picture, bro? Marketing chair, Theo. Educational outreach, Rumi. Social events, Jonathan. All right. Where is Jonathan? Who's here? Oh, there he is. All right. Engineering rep, Arian. Woo. Graduate affairs, Vedant, and also Sai. Both of them, unfortunately, were not able to make it today. Woo. Tech rep, Kevin. Woo. And here are all our committee members. We got Carter, as y'all saw, who's a freshman. So, you know, hype. And all the rest of the guys who are not freshmen. So we're looking for people to help us edit photos, clearly. So committee member positions are open. All right. We're going to go ahead and introduce the org. I'm sure you have a brief idea of who we are, but we're a student org dedicated to providing academic, technical, and professional development. Typically, we cater to engineering and computer engineering students, but given how vast our field is, we cater to everybody as well. Got a hub for students interested in creating learning tech, and it's also a great networking place. What IEEE can offer you. So as you all know, we have our general meetings with real industry professionals. The meetings are typically held in a similar fashion, although usually a lot less rushed. So we have an industry professional to show up and speak for the first hour, allow y'all to network for a couple minutes with food, and then we'll talk about the org happenings. We also have a student advisory week where students are able to talk to different professors and get their thoughts for the different concentrations. We have a lot of IEEE engaged technical workshops coming this semester. Got our robotics workshops, social events, graduate fairs. We also got our lounge, which according to a student from ASME is much cleaner than ASME's. So, you know, resources from undergraduate ECs courses, and also a Discord server where y'all can also network as well. We got IEEE experience points. Basically, the more you participate in the org, the more you get points through our different methods. The point is, at the end of the semester, you guys will be having a raffle with a bunch of different prizes. We'll announce those prizes next time around. So you get 50 for attending general meetings, 20 for volunteering, 20 for attending an event or IEEE Engage workshop, 30 for becoming a committee member, 10 for posting a picture of you wearing IEEE merch on social media or at a general meeting, 10 for asking questions at a GM, and 10 for filling out forms. So the sign-in form, etc. And if you're a national member, you also get an additional 20% points. Yeah, you get glasses. All right. We'll go ahead and let Justin talk. Here.
All right, hi, my name is Justin Wynn, and I am the lounge manager. I keep the lounge basically just from exploding, ceasing from existence. Yeah. So, why should you check out our lounge? Well, because we have lots of things, such as a whiteboard, textbook, a computer, a printer, a place where you can sleep, and a 3D printer that Alejandro will explain. Will further explain to yeah. All right, next slide. Our lounge is located in the engineering building 1 in room N367. In the lounge, you can talk to upperclassmen and hang up a couple of officers and just basically just have a good. Oh, did I accident? And just have a good time. And also, if you guys are ever just lost or confused on what to do with like your life at U of H, you can always just talk to one of us. Well, we are more than willing to help you guys. And as yeah, just de-stress in the lounge. Every day I go in there and I just pass out.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and give it to the IEEE Engage folk to explain the different workshops that we got coming up. So if y'all, we'll give y'all a second to scan the QR code. There will be a bunch of forms on there if y'all are interested in any. So y'all can sign up while they're explaining them. Oh, wait, do y'all need some? Sorry, good. It's like, I don't know. QR codes are weird, bro. It's like, I don't know, maybe you just need a better camera, but not playing.
I think that one should be fine.
Is it getting cut off? Oh, it's cut. Okay.
Is it cut?
All right, bro. Here, toss me your phone. I'll scan it from here. All right. Have everybody got it? Who wanted to get it?
It's my phone.
Oh, showed up for a second. Yeah. I promise. I'll send it to you personally, bro. All right. So we're gonna have the IEEE mentorship program. So especially for underclassmen, freshmen, sophomores who are like starting the year ECE journey and want advice from people who have been through the trenches, right? We're here to help, especially as we are a professional development organization, right? So we're going to include weekly group meetings to assess progress, advising information, course info, IEEE involvement, and social events. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and explain the TinyML workshop. Actually, George is here, right? Yeah, here, you want to explain it? Hey. You're president, right? Yeah. All right, we got it. The president of Cougar AI. Yeah, nice to meet you officially for the first time.
Yeah. So hi everyone, my name is George. I am president of Cougar AI. I'm doing a collaborative workshop with IEEE to introduce TinyML. TinyML is a subfield of machine learning where it's machine learning on embedded devices that y'all are familiar with. So things like Arduino, Raspberry Pi. And what we'll do with this workshop is we will learn how to do something similar to Alexa or OK Google, essentially wake word detection. We're going to build something on an Arduino, like a tiny microcontroller, that whenever we say a word, an LED will turn on. Super introductory. I'm just here to introduce TinyML, and I hope to see y'all there. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. So this will be taking place on the 21st. So that's Wednesday next week. All right. Then we got Gantavia. Where is it? Is he here? Here, you want to? There you go.
I've never used this before.
Yeah,
Okay.
just it's a mic.
Hi, everyone. So the name is pretty long for this workshop, but the general point for this is for most of us to work with the TVC. If you're an ECE or a CPE major, usually you will get an introduction to this in your microprocessor class. So the goal for this workshop is for you to just get an how do you say this word? Like a pre-introduction to the introduction, basically. We'll work with some modules for the TVC, like the ADC and the PWM module, to hopefully make a robot. I'm not too sure if we can manage, but we'll work for it. All right, there you go. Awesome.
Give him a round of applause, y'all. We also got an age predictor app with our resident whiz, Freddie.
Hello again. This will be the last time I talk, I promise. But yeah, just real quick, I'm gonna be doing a machine learning workshop. I'm self-taught. I'm very passionate about it. You can ask my friends, like they've seen me read like 5 to 6 books on this and taken multiple online courses. And also I got to use machine learning over the summer with FW Murphy. That was that crazy idea that I mentioned. And also I'm working at the lab right now. And so at a lab at the moment. But what I would want to focus here is just, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that I'm gonna help you build an autonomous car with an Arduino. I'm just gonna tell you that just I want you to get down the fundamentals and to see that you could do that later. And so the way I'm gonna approach that is just by building a simple age predictor app where you just get a picture from your laptop or PC, and it analyzes it, goes through a neural network, specifically a convolutional neural network, and it just spits out an estimate of your age. And this will be done over the course of 5 weeks of 1-hour sessions. And the goal is just, like I said, to learn the fundamentals and just to learn the fundamentals. And this is open to anyone. If you have experience in Python, that'd be a plus, but if you know MATLAB, then you should be okay. It's pretty easy to transfer over. So yeah, thank you.
Then we got our Nathan.
Yes, that's me.
We got our Nathan.
Wow. Hello, I'm Nathan. As Freddie just said, I'm gonna be throwing an Atari Punk console workshop. It's a 7-part workshop where by the end of it, you'll be able to have your own Atari Punk console, which is a synthesizer that uses 2 555 timer chips. So you'll get to learn the basics of electronics design, prototyping, soldering, and by the end of it, you'll have a cool music box you can play with, annoy your friends, maybe make some music or something, So if you're worried, you don't have the prerequisite knowledge to do this, don't worry, I'll walk you through it. It's a 7-part workshop. Sign up, please. It's gonna be epic. Yeah.
Nathan, what if I don't have any friends? What do I do?
I don't know yourself.
All right. Then we got our BattleBot competition. Jonathan and Alejandro. Somebody want to explain?
So we have the BattleBots competition. We have the BattleBots competition. The goal of this series of workshops is to teach you a little bit of the basics for how to control a robot and the basics of 3D printing. It'll be, I think, a series of 4 workshops. We're still planning them all out right now, but it should be around October, November. So yeah, we hope to see you guys all there. Do you have anything to say?
Have y'all seen BattleBots, like YouTube videos and stuff like that? Some of y'all have. Obviously, we're not gonna go full on metal and everything like that, but at the very least, we have like the basic electronics underneath it, and then we can 3D print whatever you guys want. Ideally, we want to add some kind of cool thing, maybe like some catapult, something spinning. And if you've been in engineering, we'll have it in the pit. So hopefully you guys can sign up for that. There's the QR code, and I'll talk about 3D printing a little bit further down.
Anyway, so I'm Ryan. I'm the robotics director for IEEE, and what I plan to do with IEEE here is basically have a group project here at IEEE where we basically build a robot. But before we do build the robot, I'm planning to host 2 workshops. Workshop 1, we'll be setting up an environment for robotics in Linux and such. So you'll be learning a bit about that. And to prove all that stuff works, we'll be trying to hopefully run up a demo similar to this one, probably not quite as complex, where we have up there that's example of demo for like robotic navigation. And after that, after we get that done, we'll be hosting another workshop for getting familiar with ROS2, which stands for Robotic Operating System. And we'll be using that to figure out how that works in general by just setting up a thing called a publisher and a subscriber for sending data back and forth from the robot to like your computer. And my initial plan with that will probably be using that to connect to a Raspberry Pi and prove that works by lighting an LED through it. And that all of this, after these 2 workshops, we'll be hopefully working towards making a submission towards one of these NASA competitions for Rascal called the Lunar Surface Transporter Vehicle, where basically NASA wants a robot that can hopefully manage cables, go on the moon, drive around, and deploy payloads and stuff. And hopefully, after I've onboarded people, we can work towards a submission for that. Perhaps not this year, but I can definitely see us making one by the end of next year, since like the submission date for that's like in March. But yeah, that's my plan for the group. And hopefully in the IEEE Discord, we'll be giving a link so that you can sign up and show what you're interested in particular with robotics.
Thank you, bro. All right, Alejandro.
So how many people here are kind of interested in 3D printing? Anyone, sort of? For those of you that didn't raise your hand, if you think it's really hard, honestly, you can just go to 2 websites. There's Thingiverse, printables.com as well, and just pick anything, right? We can print them. At the lounge, we currently have these 2, which are FDM printers. They're just filament printers. I personally have these other 2, but I can't keep them in the lounge because they create a really toxic smell. So I keep them somewhere else in my office, but y'all are welcome to use them. Those have a way higher detail than these, but next slide. They're free, right? Anyone can print as long as it's not something crazy big, but even then, as long as, you know, you donate some filament, which is 20 bucks, it's not that much. But they're free for all members. And if you guys don't want the hassle, just send over some STL files that y'all find online on any website, and we can just print them for you. And the only thing is just no one, like only authorized people that kind of know what they're doing print, because there is a whole bunch of settings that you need to make sure are good. But other than that, it's free. Just there should be a on the Discord somewhere where you can message and just send us files and we can print them for you.
Thank you, bro. All right. College of Technology. Kevin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin. I'm the College of Technology representative. As most of y'all, if most of y'all don't know, the College of Technology, IEEE, and the College of Engineering, IEEE merged since last year. So I'll be handling most of the stuff that's going on from the College of Engineering and basically trying to incorporate it with the College of from the College of Technology to College of Engineering. So one of the events that's going on right now for the College of Technology is that we're gonna have a virtual career fair that's going on the September 30th from 10 to 2 and in Handshake. So there is a pre-registration that you have to do in Handshake, and business professional attire is required for it. That's it for me.
All right, now we're going to talk about events. All right, so Career Center updates. If y'all haven't been paying attention to y'all's emails, right, the career fair is coming up on September 15th in person. The priority registration has already started today and will be there tomorrow. Yeah, I think you have to go in person and get like a band or something. Yeah, there we go. Anthony's showing it. So that'll be open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The engineering career fair itself will be held on Thursday, September 15th. So 2 days from today. Same timing, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Listen, Mom, not right now, okay? All right. Then we are gonna have, they're also looking for volunteers. So, you know, if you want something to add to the resume, so that's going to be also on Thursday, I'm sure they'll take shifts, but it starts from 6:30 and goes to 5 p.m. for like setup and takedown purposes. Then there'll also be the virtual engineering career fair on Friday, September 23rd. If y'all can't make it out to the in-person one. All right, social events. Jonathan, where you at? Oh, okay. Wait. I mean, if you're taking pictures, make me look good first. I got it. Okay, that does
Okay.
not look good, bro.
It does look good. Okay, so we have the beginning of the semester party. It's gonna be on the front lawn in front of the engineering building, and it's gonna be from 5 to 9 p.m. on September 22nd. Originally, we're going to do bowling the same day, but they overlap with each other. So bowling is that the next slide? It is not in the next slide. That's unfortunate. I was having a full transition and everything. Okay, so Cidercade is happening this Saturday. It's gonna be from 12 to 3, hopefully. And Cidercade is gonna be at 2320 Canal Street, Suite 100. It's a pretty fun time. It is an arcade, basically in a renovated warehouse. There is alcohol there, so
Stay away.
you have to be over 21 to drink, but you can still show up, I believe, even if you're under 21. And then we have the bowling night. Rip my transition. The bowling night is on the 30th, and it is in Student Center South in the basement. It's going to be from 6:30 to 8:30. For this, we are limited, I believe, on the amount of people who are allowed to come. So please RSVP so we get a rough estimate of who wants to show up. And we can go back for all of the QR codes.
We'll also be sending the presentation over the Discord as well. So if y'all miss a QR code, or in this case, if it gets cut off by terrible projector aiming, then y'all can sign up on there. Also, side note for the boss party, if you're into it or and like drinking bread, there will be beer at the boss party. So yeah. All right. In terms of upcoming events, we got a bunch of different workshops. So Arduino STM32 getting into research. We'll be having a collab with SWE in terms of having a study nights. We'll have a coding competition with Cougar AI. There will be a Mario Kart competition, Smash Bros. Tournament, Just Dance night, karaoke night, poker night. Why Valorant, bro? Valorant tournament. Jonathan, no play. Wing night, board game night, volleyball bar, and anime nights. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and hand it over to the SAC director, Anthony.
All right. Hello, y'all. I'm Anthony. I'm the I'm the SAC director. So as our president briefly mentioned before, we have a thing called the Student Advisory Week. Essentially, that's a week where we cover all the different concentrations of the electrical engineering major and the computer engineering major. Basically, we'll have professors and administration come talk about what the requirements are for each different concentration, of which we have 6 for EE. So the requirements and kind of what it looks like, and then hopefully we'll have some industry veterans come and talk about what it's actually like to work in these disparate concentrations. And yeah, should be somewhere around the middle of November, but details will be shared soon. And as was also mentioned by the president just now, we're gonna have our career fair this Thursday. So one thing I want to emphasize is please get your priority registration. You can do that at the engineering building 2, 3rd floor. Just go to 3rd floor and you'll see it immediately and get it, because if you don't, it allows you to basically skip a super long line to get into the career fair for those of you who are interested. And it's a huge time saver, and yeah, it's great. And also the engineering career fair is hours there, and they are there to help you build a resume, talk about like what you need to like interview, or even just create a pitch to talk to these companies, of which there'll be 125 this Thursday. So that's about all from yeah.
All right, Ruby. You up?
Hello, everyone. My name is Rumi. I am the Educational Outreach Chair for this year. So first off, I'll talk about is an organization here on campus called Cougar Tutors. They need tutors for STEM majors, but if you don't want to do STEM, you can also do history, English. They're having their first general meeting this Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. at the Agnes Arnold Hall, room 104. I would definitely say you should all get involved. It's not a lot of commitment, so you only have to tutor 1 hour every other week at our local elementary and middle school. So definitely suggest it. And then we have 2 outreach events potentially. The first one will be October 8th. That's in collaboration with NESB, and that'll be at Farish Hall. And basically, we're just gonna play with the kids, help them build and race mini cars. So if you are interested in that, please reach out to me. I'd also have a form later on to see what everyone's interest is. And then our second one will be in November. That one is still to be determined, but that will be off campus at, I believe, an elementary school. And yeah, so more outreach events to come. Stay tuned. Also, I'd like to reach out and say if you guys have any teachers or schools in the Houston area that you think would be interested in like some type of outreach event, please contact me through Discord. I would definitely love to reach out. Knowing that there's members here that have some type of connection to a school makes it a little bit easier reaching out to schools so they don't end up ghosting me because that happens. But yeah, thank you all so much.
There'll be 2 upcoming company info sessions coming up. So September 20th from 6 to 8 in SEMO. There's going to be Williams popping up. Then we also have Hess on the 22nd, 7 to 8:30 p.m. So basically after the boss party, y'all know where to go. Okay. Also, then for grad affairs, there's going to be an upcoming event that's going to be at Top Golf. The QR code is there. It'll be on October 8th, 10 to 12. You don't have to worry about any admission or food or drinks. Everyone is welcome, even if you're not a graduate student. All right. Here's all of our different social media. The main one we're active on is on Discord. So so like the rightmost. All right. What's up? Good. All right. So if you're interested in becoming a member, here's the process. So you can scan the QR code, which will be shown shortly. We're also taking member dues. For national members, it's 10 per year or 5 per semester. And for local, it's 20 per year and 10 per semester. You can pay via Venmo, PayPal, or cash. We also need to look into getting a Zelle because a lot of people have started using Zelle. So, you know, what the market looks for, I guess. After filling out the application form, there will also be the link to the IEEE Discord. So please send a direct message containing your full name to any officer so we can change your Discord tag into your real name so people know who they're talking to. Here's the QR code. If you all have not signed up yet, I'll give you all a couple minutes. All right. This is the Discord, if y'all haven't joined. And thank you. So if y'all haven't signed in already, in order to get your IEEE XP points, right, please feel free to do so. All right. So now we're going to get to the most important part of today's meeting. All right. Where's Kevin? Pull it up. Pull it out, bro. All right. So we have a couple of yeah. All right. So it's Mr. Matt and Mr. Tequila. Oh, and Theo.
Oh yeah, Modest.
On Modest. Okay. Any other September babies? No. All right. All right. Wait. Let me pull out the Pull out the ceremonial knife. All right. All right. Matt. All right. September people. All right. Here's the knife. Y'all want to hold it? Sure. Yo, Jonathan, let's get a picture of the cake, bro. All right, ready? All right. How do don't conductors go like 5, 6, 7, 8? All right, ready? Everyone ready? Like 5, 6, 7, 8. Happy birthday to Happy birthday. Happy birthday, dear. All right. So anyway, if y'all like being embarrassed in front of people, become an officer. All right. So like we mentioned, we're going to go ahead and do the raffle now for the multimeter. Go ahead and wave it around, Matt. Like actually, like run the raffle. Sure, go ahead. If you want, no, I mean, if you want, you can go ahead and hand it to the person. No? If you want, you can. All right. So Matt's running the program. All right. Yeah. All right. So give us a second. Technical difficulties. All right. All right. It's kind of difficult to see, bro. Wait, what's up? Which one's 38? Oh, really? So that's I didn't. Yeah, I didn't see. I don't like. I can't see like the slide down to it. So that's cool. Yeah. Wow, you should have interrupted me, bro. That's right.
Just
What's up?
I don't know. Sorry.
No, you're good. You wash your kids?
no, man, stuff is all in the lounge. That's fine. So I need to go see if the lounge is open.
Chris might. Hit him on.
Chris.
You know the dude. Pretty skinny. Like 10 years.
Not exactly.
The other Chris.
Yeah, we are.
All right.
Okay, I know you can't see everybody.
Yes, Jessica. Okay.
All right, do it.
There's the list. All right, can't see it, but it's shuffling.
Multiple times.
A little different.
I cannot.
I cannot pronounce that name. I'm so sorry. Ishi.
Ugo. Here, Monster. Hey, what's up? Bro, this is rigged. You're bro. Go for it. Jonathan, picture. Here, you want to hold it up a little bit? Thank you. Great job and having a ton of luck, bro. It's the algo. All right. What is this? All right. If y'all, so this basically concludes our meeting for today in terms of like official stuff. Because, you know, we spent a lot of time preparing the meeting, all of these officers have. We're gonna do like a couple of games like Tapu, if y'all want to join in, and y'all have time. All right. Cool. Y'all interested in playing? Yep. All right.
I gotta run. Thank you guys. Together.
Oh,
Absolutely. I'll definitely be showing up to the sessions. Need to join as well.
Yeah, we'll be sending the slides out. Actually, honestly, I'm totally calling it.
I have the QR code. I'll make this where I'll get in there. I'll get everything spread out. And I suppose.
Yeah. Thank y'all for coming out. We're gonna go ahead and call it.